All right, well, we are straight up 2 o'clock Central Time, and I'd like to welcome you all to session one of our 6-part long-term care geriatric care series designed to help enhance skills for CNAs who are working in long-term care. And my name is Jeff Redicott. I'm a quality improvement advisor with Mount Pacific Quality Health, and I will be your session facilitator today. I'm glad to see all of you who were able to join us. Thank you for taking time out. And today we're going to be talking about how simple actions help residents feel respected and safe, and how these actions tie in with the 5 M's of age-friendly healthcare, which are what matters: mobility, mentation, medications, and multi-complexity. As CNAs, you are all tremendously important in helping the residents at your respective facilities feel well cared for. We're going to start out today with an icebreaker question just to kind of help everybody get comfortable. So what we'd like to know is, what is your favorite holiday and why? Please go ahead and feel free to put that in the chat, or if you'd like to come on mute and answer, go ahead. Our chat monitors today are Natasha Green and Carrie Sorensen, and they will be bringing those answers forward. So what is your favorite holiday? What are we seeing in the chat so far?
I'm the only one who responded in there, Jeff, and I put, can summer be a holiday? Looks and then Bethany went ahead and said, Christmas is my favorite.
I'm right there with you, Bethany. Christmas is my favorite too.
Yes, we see another one for Christmas, getting to see all of the residents and their families together. 100% agree. And some of you may be in large groups too, so if you'd like to come off of mute and share some, you're welcome to do that.
Christmas has always been my favorite because of sledding and tobogganing and just having all family together. All right, well, thank you for those of you who answered. We're going to take a look at our session goals today, and these goals are focused on today's topic. And we're going to be talking about how everyday care can help give your residents the feelings of respect and dignity. And this is care that you're already giving. And we're going to talk a little bit about how to improve it. Respect builds trust and helps residents feel less anxious, and also improves how they feel emotionally overall. We're going to start out with a polling question today to kind of get us dug into our topic and get everybody thinking about their workplace experiences. So our question today, number 1, is, what does dignity mean to you? So go ahead and share one word or a short phrase in chat that describes what dignity means to you. And again, as Natasha Green mentioned, if you're in a big group and you want to come off mute and go ahead and share your answer, please go ahead and feel free to do so.
We have a few responses, and most of them revolve around being respectful, feeling respected, treating people the way you want to be treated.
I like that one, treating people the way you want to be treated. Gives other people the sense of honor.
And mine was talking about kindness, because I feel like it's not hard for us to be kind. I know it can be, we all experience different things that make ourselves hard to manage our own emotions, but it's really easy to just be kind and considerate.
Absolutely. And oftentimes that can diffuse potential situations from escalating too when you have a resident that might not necessarily be having a good day. All right, well, thanks for your answers. So with age-friendly care, basically what age-friendly care means is doing the right things for older adults every day. The 5Ms help guide your daily care choices. And as CNAs, your daily cares are part of what matters, and respecting residents' dignity helps improve their emotional well-being and how satisfied they are with their care. As CNAs, your eyes and ears particularly have the power to make care safer and much more personal. So here's our second polling question for the day. Which part of the 5Ms do you feel like you use most every day? So for this one, go ahead and chat in your answer. It would be A, B, C, D, or E. And we'll give you a couple minutes to do that and find out which of the answers you feel is the one that you tend to use most every day.
Looks like maybe there's just one answer. Can everybody see the poll okay?
No, we can't see it yet, Carrie.
It should just be the slide.
Oh, the poll pops up as a second window. I have people answering, so other people are able to see it. Can you guys not see it?
No, could you share the poll results, Bethany?
Oh, I'm not sure if I could share the poll results on here. I could. Okay, so everybody answers in the poll. Let me see if I could copy and share results. Can you see them?
Not yet.
Yes. I can see them okay.
Okay, good.
Looks like about half said what matters. And then a couple of more mobility and complex needs. And then the lowest being meditation and medication.
Okay. Well, what matters is really one of the ones we're going to be talking about today. And oftentimes mobility is the first one on this list that people choose. But in addition to what matters, we're going to be talking about how dignity and respect connect to mentation. So dignity means to value each person for who they are and to be worthy of respect. You can show respect to residents by always doing things like knocking before entering their room. And this builds trust, reduces anxious or nervous feelings, and also helps to make sure you're being understanding of what matters to the residents. You're honoring them when you do this. Remember that dignity and respect help residents trust caregivers, and the more they trust the caregivers, the more calm they can feel. Simple acts like knocking demonstrate respect. Doing this boosts resident satisfaction and also builds up your skills as well. And these are easy habits that anybody can practice on any shift they work. And they're also going to help you build positive relationships with the residents you care for. Even when you're busy, slowing down helps care go better. And the resident may have an ask that you can take care of right away instead of being pulled away for caring for another resident when you're on. When you explain what you're doing, the resident's going to have a chance to be able to understand that, and they're most likely going to be less likely to resist. Or the resident can also share how they would like to receive that care. Sitting at eye level helps the resident feel like you're spending time with them and truly care about them. Now we're going to move into our panelist portion of our session. We have a panel of experienced CNAs with us today, and they're going to be sharing their stories around these two questions that we have listed. I'd like to introduce to you Natasha Needham from St. Luke's Home in Dickinson, Tina Vance from Annetta Parkview Health Center in Annetta, and Mira Doglid from Missouri Slope in Bismarck. So our first question today is, what dignity or respect action did you take yesterday or this morning? Tina, let's start with you. Give us a quick story.
Of course, I have to be first. First, I want to say when I enter a room, I keep in my head. Have you ever heard of aloha and the meaning of each letter in
No.
the nursing home field? Ask. L means listen. O, observe. H, help. And then A, ask again. So when I enter a room, I that's going in my head always, and to make sure I hit every spot, what they need and what I observe. But it's kind of a good thing to go over if you could teach your workers aloha and the meaning of each letter for a nursing home. It's really helpful to make sure all their wants and needs are taken care of for the morning or afternoon. But this morning I walked into a room, and I'm a firm believer that I'm a bed Nazi. So in these small rooms, the bed is the biggest object in the room. So I always make sure that is neat as neat can be, because that's the first thing you notice in these small rooms is what their bed looks like. I mean, upon everything else, but I always make sure the room is clean and always make sure that they look presentable and presentable, and always make sure what they want to wear is a good option in the morning to start off the early morning or this morning. That was for me.
You know, that aloha just sounds like a great tool that will just really stick in your mind to help you remember. And I love that. I love that expression, bed Nazi. That's great.
Because you say hello, aloha. So then
Uh-huh.
it kind of keeps your mind fresh. Yes.
Absolutely. All right. Natasha, what would you like to share? Natasha Needham.
Well, I can also say for this morning, one of the things that I was doing was helping with breakfast. And one thing that I always try to do is walk around the room, make sure everyone has what they need. Usually the early risers are the ones that are out first in the morning, make sure they have their coffee or hot chocolate, make sure they have all of their condiments that they would need, or if they have something they don't want, or if they would like to swap it out with something they do want. That's kind of what I do in the mornings. Most of the time is I walk around and help with breakfast and stuff if I'm not doing med pass. Just kind of make sure that they, like they feel comfortable in the dining room, and make sure that the TV isn't too loud or the lights are bright enough, or, they can reach everything. They're up close to the table, or they have a clothing protector on, which I don't like to use the word bib, but it's a clothing protector. Just certain things kind of like that is how I kind of like to start out my mornings.
Sounds like you're very focused on their preferences, and that's great because it shows you've gotten to know them, and you're showing that respect and demonstrating that they have dignity. That's great. Mira, were you able to join us today?
Hi, I hope so.
Great. We can hear you loud and clear.
So, English is my third language, so forgive me if you don't understand maybe everything what I said. And I am a caregiver. And German is my second language. And as you know, in North Dakota, we have lots of residents who are Germans. And any situation when I walk in, and I know they will understand a little bit of their first language or their grandparents' language. If I start to talk German to them, the situation change right away. They stop, they kind of calm, and they start responding to me. And I am on the mission. I don't have anything like set how it works. It minute by minute. I am the caregiver, professional caregiver. I talk to them. I bring smile to their face. I learn before a little bit about things what matters to them, about their families, their interests, and I start conversation, and it works every time. And just when you have kind heart and you go in and your heart is fulfilled with joy when you come to work to care for those who need help, that's what helps me. Just a caring heart.
I love that story, Mira, because people sense that immediately. And the fact that you do speak more than one language and are able to speak to people in their native language, I think that's huge, because oftentimes we have people in our facilities who may not have English as their first language. So whether at CNA speaks Spanish or German or Russian or any other language, being able to connect with that resident in their native language, it really puts that person at ease. So great story. So next question. And we're going to start with Natasha Needham on this one. How would you want your grandparents to be treated?
Well, I guess that's an easy one and a tough one to say. I would want them to be treated the best that they possibly can. Dignity and respect is huge. Making sure that they look nice, their clothes are nice, all their cares are done, all their needs are met. They have all their stuff that they need for the day, or they go to therapy, or they have all their medications are correct. Like it's a big thing. Being having a caregiver that cares about them and listens to them and treats them with respect while they're doing cares. It's a lot, I guess. I would, how you would want your grandparents to be treated. And that's how you should treat everybody else. Every other resident that you take care of should be no different. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, that is a great perspective, because as caregivers, we all want to make sure that we're treating people well. And if we focus on treating people like our most loved family member, which oftentimes is a grandparent, then we're making sure that those individuals' needs are being met and we're showing respect to them. So that's a great perspective, Natasha. Mira, let's have you go next. How would you want your grandparents to be treated?
I would like them to be treated the same way I treat every resident at Missouri Slope, with dignity, respect, empathy, and compassion. And when I go and take care of them, I don't get distracted if they are having a bad day or they have behaviors. And we just cannot go nowhere. I looked at beautiful life they had before. I imagined that. And every human, it's a good human. And if you, and my mission as a lead CNA is to wake up that caring heart of every CNA I re-educate, to treat everyone as a family, to give them the best care possible. And this is our mission, because everyone in our care deserves the best.
A 100% agree. You said two things that really stood out to me there. You talked about empathy and compassion, and those tie directly into dignity and respect. And then you also mentioned, caring for an individual the best way you can, regardless of what kind of day they're having. If they're having a bad day, you are still showing compassion, empathy, dignity, and respect. And oftentimes that can help a resident really be able to cope better with that bad day that they're having for whatever reason they're having it. So yes, great perspective there. And Tina, let's hear from you.
All the good answers are taken. I would treat them how I treat everybody else. Love, I'm very compassionate. So I would expect that from anybody and everybody, but they shouldn't be treated like no other resident as well. I mean, they're most respect and love and very, very compassionate. Always, always.
And as all three of you know, each person is an individual. They all have individual needs. They all have individual preferences. They all have individual dislikes. So being able to be aware of those and respond to those and understand those and take those into account really, really demonstrates a high level of dignity and respect for those individuals. All right. Thank you so much, panelists, for sharing your stories. And just for the audience, our three panelists are experts in what they do, and they are also going to be our panelists on our other 5 sessions coming up after this. So we're really looking forward to hearing much more of their experiences and much more of how they go about their days caring for the residents. So thank you, panelists. I appreciate that you're sharing. So we're going to start to wind down today with a final rapid fire game. So what I'm going to ask you all to do is please put your answers in chat. We've got 3 questions. We'll run through the first 2, and if you don't have time to get a third, that's okay. But if we have time, we'll get to it. So here's what I want you to do. For each question, I'm going to read it out, and then what I'd like you to do is go ahead and put your answer in the chat, or you can come off mute. So question number 1, here's our scenario. A resident refuses help. Should you rush them or ask for their presence, or ask for their preferences? Okay, you've got about a minute to vote. Go. Chat monitors, what are we seeing?
Got a couple of ask their preferences.
Okay. We'll go for a few more seconds.
Yep, that seems to be a consensus.
Okay, that's the correct answer. Why is it correct? Well, because when you ask, you are demonstrating to the resident that they have autonomy. They have the autonomy over the care. Okay, question number 2. Here's the issue. You're standing over the resident while feeding them. Why is this bad? Again, go ahead and chat in your answers. And I have to say, I was guilty of this. When I first started doing patient care in the inpatient setting in the hospital, I wasn't feeding the resident, the patient, but doing post-discharge or discharge teaching, and I had that habit of standing over the top of them. What
Yep,
are we seeing
and-
for answers?
Yeah, we have one answer. There's no eye-to-eye contact as they are looking up at you. It can be intimidating. Get down to their level and show respect being with them. And it's demeaning.
All right. All correct answers, all hit the nail right on the head. You want to eliminate any possible opportunity for intimidation. That eye-to-eye contact really helps you connect with the resident. And you never want to make the resident feel like they are just subordinate. Okay, last question. Here's your strategy. During bathing with the resident, what is the best first step? Do you knock on the door and greet them, or do you barge into the room? Go ahead and chat in your answers. And what are we seeing in the chat?
Looks like we have a consensus to knock on the door and greet. It's their home you're entering.
Oh man, isn't that the truth? Great, great answer. Yes, that is, and I think sometimes that's easy to forget. That is their home. That is their home. So excellent, excellent. All right, thanks for playing, everybody. And thank you for coming to today's session. I really appreciate your attendance and participation. So we're going to wrap up today. Our key point that we want to take home is that showing residents dignity and respect improves your ability to care for them, and it also improves the care they receive. So Carrie Sorensen, our chat monitor, is going to be dropping the resource link into the chat right now. This is a basic dignity checklist that you'll be able to click on and download. And this is something that you can stick in your toolbox to be able to use on a daily basis. Great for new CNAs too, and sometimes a good reminder for folks that have been in the field for a while.